So here's our first garden update. It is also our first year doing the raised bed gardening. We mainly did the container planting last year off our deck in our old home. So since now we have this bigger home, we have a yard. We just moved here about 7 months ago. Now this one here in front of us is a sunflower that my daughter had planted, or it was a seedling actually, planted from seed. And then right here is a little jasmine, star jasmine flowers that will be really pretty and smelling really good when it blooms. So these are our tomatoes. We've got some flowers and buds. And you know what? I did plant them a little too close. I didn't space them out good enough. And I did plant them deep, like what Ray had suggested. He's from the Praxis 55712 channel. And they shoot out a lot of suckers, and each plant pretty much looks like there was about 3 or 4 plants per one plant of tomato. I had to prune some leaves off because they got really wide. I think one of them got like 2 to 3 feet wide across. So they're not very tall, although some of these are pretty young still. So lots of clusters of flowers, and they're kind of all over the place here. So I think we'll get some great harvest. So these are, I think, cherry and Roma, mainly this whole box right here. And actually I do have a couple pepper plants with little buds starting to grow. So we'll see how those goes, but tried to plant them last year and we don't get that much warm weather here in the Puget Sound, so hopefully I'll have a better success on the peppers this year. So now here, this little garden box, this is my kids' little garden box here. They sowed some carrots, so they're doing great. And I also planted some cabbage in there. These are cabbage, and the nasturtiums are doing really well. The leaves are huge, so I'll show you. There's my hand, but look how big those leaves are. We pick them once in a while. We throw them in a salad. Now I'm having a little problem with our cabbage here. I keep finding these green caterpillars, and they are just eating our cabbage away. I don't have any pyrethrin or any natural insect repellent, so I'll have to find some, but this cabbage here is looking pretty bad, so I'll have to pick it up as soon as I can. And here's some more little tomato plants. These are an heirloom tomato. They're going to be purple. They're still pretty young, so we'll see how that one goes. And here is a little herb pot that I made for, or put together for, one of my great friends, Kim. And I also planted a couple of romaine. So I just want to show you. So her birthday's coming up and I want to surprise her. I've got some, this one here is stevia right here. And right in the middle here is sage. Back there is basil. Silver thyme right there. And I've got mint right here. And there's the couple of romaine lettuce there. Well, what I like to do with the spearmint, I think this is actually spearmint, and the stevia leaves, as I would mix them or I would eat them both together, and it tastes really good because of the sweetness from the stevia leaf and the mint from the spearmint. So it tastes like a gum or candy. So anyway, here's more plants here. These are some green beans, and I think they're doing okay. This one here I've had a little longer, so there's some couple beans in there, and I forgot to pick some of them. One of them's turning yellow, but there's a couple in there. That's a nice size one right there. And here's our strawberry box, and as you can see, there are lots of suckers. So we're gonna have a lot more plants next year. See all those suckers that it's putting out? Now we already picked some strawberries this year. We only got a few. I wanted to make sure that next year we'll get more, so I didn't want to it to grow that much fruit. Instead it grew a lot of leaves, and now it's putting out all these suckers, so we'll have more than twice as many tomato plants, I think, next year. This one here is some flowers. So now back here, this one is, we made this little raised garden bed with just the rocks that we had in our backyard back there, and we just kind of surrounded it with this rocks, so it's got a nice little look to it here. It's kind of cute. So I got some, I think it's butter crunch lettuce and romaine, some arugula that's bolting. I didn't pick these fast enough, but you know, when we got a lot of sun about a week ago, they just started bolting, maybe too much sun. Even the spinach, they didn't get big at all, they just started bolting too, and I've got a lot of weeds. I gotta weed those out. Now these here are Brussels sprouts, so these aren't getting that big fast enough, I don't think. We don't get much sun over here, you know, it's a lot of shaded area here, so I might have to redo it next year and move some stuff around, maybe towards our backyard. Once we get all those weeds cleared out, we get more sun back there. So now here's our broccoli. Now this is got the floret there, or the crown, only on one of them, and I'm having that issue again with either the caterpillar or slugs eating the leaves, so I need to do something about that. Some more broccoli back there, and these are little, yeah, broccoli seedlings. And on this little containers here, just planted some lettuce, butter crunch lettuce, and romaine. And here too, I started out some more romaine lettuce there, more broccoli. Now back here I wanted to show you, got some herbs that I'm keeping in a pot, since I'm thinking about taking them indoors once fall and winter comes. I want to keep some indoors so I can have herbs all year round. Now over here is this is really good, chocolate mint. This one I love to just pick off the leaves, and I even eat it and mix it with the stevia leaf, and it makes it sweet, so it tastes like candy, and the kids love it. So we just come out here and pick some herbs that, you know, you can just eat and taste good. It's like a little treat. And let's see here, sage. Now this one here is lavender. Sweet basil. This one's bolting. I think this is the cilantro, and it's already bolted, so I'm gonna get some seeds from those. I think, yeah, some more buds right there. Italian parsley, chives, and this is the stevia plant. That's the sweetener that you can buy at the store, the natural sweetener. I think what they do is they dry up the leaves and ground it, and you can use it to sweeten your beverages or baking instead of sugar, and it's really sweet. It's really good actually. So those are fun to pick off and just eat. And here's the spearmint. Now this one, they propagate really fast. I actually pulled this out from the ground in our backyard that was growing next to a tree, and I only have 2 little plants, and this is what I have now. And I was also able to take one of the plants and put it in that little pot that I'm going to give to my friend. So they propagate really quickly, and I kept them in a container so that way they don't grow all over the place. So they'll just stay in this pot that I kind of buried in the ground there. But it's got holes in the bottom for drainage. Now here's a silver thyme. This one also propagated really quickly. I just had a small plant, and I was able to get another plant, well, 2 more plants out of this one. And they grew rapidly as long as you're trimming or picking some of the leaves off to use. It helps it grow more. And this is the fennel, also called licorice plant. It smells wonderful, smells and tastes just like licorice. So that's my little herb garden there. So anyways, I'm gonna try to do more updates. I know this is probably only our first one since we planted these plants and, you know, got them into seedlings, and we transplanted them here about 6 weeks ago, some of them 2 months ago. and they seem to be doing well. They're thriving, and for our first raised garden beds, I think we're doing pretty well. So there's a good look of everything that we're growing. Hopefully next year we'll do a little better. We'll start out earlier, and that way we can have an earlier harvest. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you soon. Okay. So what are we doing with the newspaper, Bella?
We're lining it so the weeds don't grow back.
So we're using newspaper as a weed barrier instead of, we're trying to save our weed barriers for the rest of the yard, but it's biodegradable, so we're putting about 10 sheets, so it's thick enough, and hopefully it'll work.